Town Council, March 23rd, 2021 at 2 p.m. in Council Chambers. Do I need a resolution to exclude the public, please? That in accordance with Ministerial Order M192, the Town of Vesuvius regular open council meeting continues to be closed to the public due to the inability to meet physical distancing recommendations made under the Public Health Act in Council Chambers located at 8707 Main Street. And that to ensure openness, transparency, accessibility, and accountability, the Town of Vesuvius regular open council meetings will continue to be recorded, live streamed, and published on the town's website, and that the regular open meetings be streamed on Eastlink's community channel. Good. Could I have a motion? Thank you. Councillor Rhodes, Councillor King. All in favor? Thank you. So we have one late item to add to the agenda, and that would be the community grants, and Mr. Davis will present that later. So I'm asking please to have the agenda approved with the addition of the community grants. Councillor Bennett, Councillor King, all in favor. Thank you very much. And the adoption of some minutes, the regular open minutes of March the 9th, 2021. Councillor Rhodes, Councillor Harvey, all in favor. Thank you. Business arising, none. So we have a zoning bylaw, and that's the first thing that we have here is a report number 2 on the zoning bylaw. Zoning amendment bylaw number 1085.133/2021 and general industrial M1 zone and adding outdoor recreation as permitted use in the M1 zone. So are we having the report from Ms.? No, we're not. We're starting the public meeting, and then Ms. McKay will do it. So we will start the public hearing at 2:05, and I will read the statement of the chair. This public hearing is convened pursuant to Section 464 of the Local Government Act, RSBC 2015, to allow the public to make representation to council respecting matters contained in zoning amendment bylaw number 1085.133/2021. Every person present who believes that their interest in property is affected by the proposed bylaw shall be given a reasonable opportunity to be heard respecting matters contained in the proposed bylaw. None of you will be discouraged or prevented from making your views known. However, it is important that you restrict your remarks to matters contained in the proposed bylaw. When speaking, please proceed to the microphone and commence your remarks by clearly stating your name and address. That would be on the screen if you were doing it this time. If they wish, members of council may ask you questions following your presentation. However, the function of council at this public hearing is to listen to you rather than to debate the merits of the proposed bylaw. In accordance with the council procedure bylaw, presentations by members of the public shall be limited to a maximum of 5 minutes each. If a person has additional information that he is unable to provide within that time frame, he shall be given further opportunity to address council after all other interested members of the public have been heard a first time. Please refrain from applause or other expressions of emotion during this public hearing so that we may ensure as impartial a hearing as possible. After this public hearing is adjourned, council members will not speak to the public on this matter until after the matter has been dealt with at a public meeting. After this public hearing has concluded, council may without further notice give whatever effect council believes proper to the presentations made at this hearing. Confirmation of advertising and posting requirements. Notice of this public hearing was given in accordance to the Local Government Act and the Community Charter by distributing the notice as follows. Publishing in 2 consecutive editions of the Vesuvius Times on March the 10th and March 17th, 2021. Placing the notice on the bulletin boards in the town office and Planning and Development Services Department on March the 10th. posting the notice on the town's website on March the 10th and distributing by e-news on March the 12th, 2021. Notices to property owners in the area will not be issued as per section 4667. The notification requirement does not apply if 10 or more parcels owned by 10 or more persons are the subject of the bylaw altercation. Altercation, right. Summary of the staff report. The purpose of this meeting is to seek public input on zoning bylaw amendment number 1085.133/2021, which received first and second reading on March the 9th, 2021. Zoning amendment bylaw number 1085.133/2021 proposes to add outdoor recreation as a permitted use to all properties within the M1 zone. So I will ask Ms. McKay, please, to give her report.
So thank you, Mayor McCordoff. You'll recall that this particular rezoning was prompted by the request of the Archery Club to renew their lease to operate on property that is owned by the town and is zoned M1. It is industrial. So that particular zone does not allow the property to be used for outdoor recreation. So we determined the best route of action here was to just add outdoor recreation to all of the M1 zone properties within the community. We've not heard any comments from any of the public, and the rezoning proposal is of course in conformance with the official community plan, and staff are recommending that we proceed. And then council have any questions?
Thank you. Go ahead, Councillor King.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just a question. I know it's just kind of cleaning up one of our internal bylaws. Is there anybody else on the drawing board that's interested in doing something in M1 that you're aware of? Thank you.
No.
Okay.
The only thing that I've ever seen, just as a matter of information, is paintball.
Okay.
But we don't have any properties large enough to accommodate that use.
Okay, thank you, Ms. McKay. So I'm going to confirm that there was no correspondence that has been received, and there is no one registered for the public input.
Yes.
Am I correct? So I will have a motion, please, for the public hearing to be adjourned. Councillor Rhodes, Councillor Bennett, all in favor? Thank you very much. All right. Now we're going to go to zoning amendment bylaw 1085.133, consideration of third reading. So that would be the option that was recommended in Ms. McKay's report. So the option is, three options. Council grants third reading to zoning amendment bylaw number 1085.133/2021. Number 2, council requests additional information following the public hearing and prior to the proceeding. Or number 3, council denies the proposed rezoning and directs the bylaw to be abandoned. Council, could we name give it Councillor Rhodes?
Thank you, Mayor McCullough. I'll move the staff recommended option number 1.
All right, is there a seconder for that? Thank you, Councillor Bennett. Are there any concerns or questions about this? All right, I will ask for the vote, please. All in favor of option 1. Thank you very much. Too many papers in here this time. Okay, now we've got to figure out which page it is. The next one is the amendment to the development variance permit at 8,000 Vedette Drive. Is that where we are at?
That's
Good.
correct.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Ms. McKay.
Well, thank you very much. So this is report number 2 in regards to the requested amendment to development variance permit number 20-04 for property located at 8,000 Vedette Drive and owned by Peanut Lake Developments. The applicant is PLN Dirksma for Peanut Lake Developments. And again, council previously approved a development variance permit 20-04, and the applicants are looking to amend the location of one of the signs that was approved as part of that variance. Again, all written submissions from neighbors are to be taken into account when council considers amending this variance, and to my knowledge, no comments have been received. Mrs. Hilson, no. So staff are supporting the requested variance, and it was of course subject to input from the neighbors, and the signs will be temporary in nature. And we are in receipt from an email from the owner-operator of the Super 8 indicating they have no concerns with the proposed new location. So the options before council are council authorizes, the proposed amendment to development variance permit 20-04, or option 2, that council denies requested amendment to the issued development variance permit, and staff are recommending option number 1. Thank you, Mayor McCordock.
Thank you very much. Councillor King, you moving this?
Yeah.
Thank you. Councillor Rhodes is seconding. This would be option 1, that we authorize the proposed amendment. All in favor? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Ms. Mackay. And water matters is next. That's why we have our 2 water councillors paying attention. Did you know, by the way, that yesterday was World Water Day? You do now. Mr. Appleby.
I drank some.
Okay. So this report is to report on expenditures from accounts payable for water councillors and council to receive for information purposes. So water district cash requirements to March 23rd, 2021 are in the amount of $39,273.43. Is there somebody who would like to move that, or is there do you require a request?
I move it paid.
That's Councillor Appleby is removing it. Is moving it, not removing it. And are you seconding that?
Well, I like,
Oh, you can
I got
certainly.
the $39,000, is that Cordis?
Would you like to second it first and then
Okay,
open it up to
I second
questions?
it.
Thank you very much. Now, you had questions. I think you have a report. We got a report, so.
Yeah, I didn't get a report, I did, but I didn't open it, and 3 days later it disappears.
Oh, all
I
right.
don't know
Well,
why,
so there
my
is
fault.
Fortis is on here.
How much?
2,108.
2,000?
Yes.
Didn't you say $39,000?
Yes, but just a minute. The next thing is Merle's Machine Works for 24,000.
Was that doing the pumps?
Yeah.
They doing the
That's a
pumps?
pump repair.
That's
Okay.
what it is.
Yeah, that's
the
good
pump.
enough, yeah, I
And-
knew there was something.
So that sort of brings it up to 31, and
Yeah.
then there's a few other parts.
Yes.
Are you all right with
Yes,
that?
yes.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded that we go with option number 1. All in favor? Okay, that's everybody. Thank you very much. Correspondence. Let me get to my next page here. So the Okanagan Basin Water Board report is included in here. There was a couple of interesting things that happened at the meeting on March the 5th. One is that Lisa Scott, who gave a presentation, and she is from OASIS, Okanagan Smeltamine Invasive Species Society, and she's been doing this for quite a while, very involved with giving information on the number of people and watercraft and boat launches and so on, and she does a great job in the summertime to look at how many mussel-infested boats that had come into to the province, and there was apparently 16 mussel-infested watercraft entered BC last summer. 7 were headed to the Okanagan. And it's a bit of a concern because all it takes is 1. And so she and the group are very, very concerned about this and continue to do outreach, education, and as much as they can. Directors were also provided, were encouraged that the BC government review Okanagan Lake regulation system and that's been supported by the communities in the Okanagan, and the letters have been sent to the government on that, to try and regulate mainly Okanagan Lake, because it has such an influence on everybody else. The Okanagan Basin Water Board WaterWise Outreach and Education Program has been launched in the schools, and it's been very well received. And there's a new homeowners grant called Slow It, Spread It, Sink It. And it's a popular homeowners grant helping residents control runoff and use rain as a resource, just like Councillor Rhodes has a rain barrel, and that's how he uses it. Two of them?
Yeah.
Good. And the Water Conservation and Quality Improvement Grant Program received 24 applications with a total request of $575,000. Well received. There's $350,000 available, so that will be brought to our next meeting. So could we, there's no questions or anything, could we please have a motion to receive and file this report? Thank you. Councillor King, Councillor Bennett, all in favor? Thank you. Okay, Mr. Zackel. Nope, general net payroll, I've missed one. Hang on, you're next after I finish this, okay. So sorry about that, it's kind of confusing today because Mrs. Hilson gave me all kinds of extra stuff I had to throw in here. All right, so we've got to report on expenditures for accounts payable and payroll information for council to receive. General cash requirements up to March 23rd, 2021 from the amount of $1,301,127.98. Sunbowl cash requirements of $7,860.44, and net payroll accounts of $82,601.89. So the options are for council to receive the general cash requirements, Sunbowl cash requirements, and net payroll accounts as referenced above, or to number 2, to request additional information from staff. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Manager. Can I just get a little overview of what that 1.3 million is for?
Thank you,
Seems
Mr.
like a big
Zackel.
amount.
It is. We've got 2 very large infrastructure projects that are on the go. One of them is our water twinning project, and the other one is our lift station over near Lakeshore Drive.
Okay.
So those 2 large projects are the lion's share of those.
Good, thank you very much. So
I'll
are you
move option
making,
one.
moving option 1? Councillor Rhodes is seconding that. All in favor? Thank you, that's carried. Okay, now, Mr. Zackel, thank you. You can give the 5-year financial plan bylaw.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. So before council is 5-year financial plan bylaw 1371, now before council for adoption. The budget process started in October of 2020, and council gave first 3 readings to the bylaw on March 9th, 2021. We have a total property tax and user fee increase for an average single-family residence of $95.02, which is a 2.97% tax, or a 2.97% increase in what they paid in 2020. So at this time, options before council is to adopt 5-year financial plan bylaw 1371-2021, or option 2 for council direct staff to make further changes to the financial plan and bring back for the next meeting.
Thank you very much. We've been through this a couple of times, so I think people can certainly go online and look at this report as well. Council, what is your pleasure here? We're going to choose one of the options. Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you, Mayor McCordoff. I move the staff recommend option.
Thank you very much. Is there a second? Thank you. Councillor King. Are there any questions, concerns? Okay, we will I'll ask for the vote. All in favor? Thank you very much. Mr. Zackel?
Thank you.
And are you going to go on and do the museum parcel tax amendment bylaw? Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
So this one before council is a museum parcel tax amendment bylaw 1300.06/2021. So in 2011, the Regional District of Okanagan adopted the Osuyos Museum Service Establishment Bylaw 2553 for electoral area A in the town of Osuyos, which received elector assent on the 5th of June of 2011. A referendum in 2011 stated that the annual cost would be allocated as a flat charge to all taxable properties in electoral area A and town of Osuyos. This bylaw was established to enable the purchase of the museum property located at 8702 Main Street. Parcel tax bylaw was created in 2013 in order for the town of Osuyos to collect the portion owing to the RDUS for the service. The RDUS requisitions the town annually and establishes the parcel tax rate to be charged. The town needs to annually update the parcel tax bylaw to ensure the rate is consistent with the rate being charged for the Area A residents. The 2021 rate established in Osuyos is $15.24. The requisition for the municipal or museum parcel tax for both the town and RDUS Area A is as follows. So it shows that Osuyos is being requisitioned for $60,488 for the 3,969 parcels at a rate of $15.24. Electoral Area A is being requisitioned $20,692 for their 1,290 parcels at a rate of $16.04. And what that is the Area A pays the rate plus a 5.25% collection fee rate on the requisition. So the implications for the community: the electors of electoral area A in town of Osuyos approved the borrowing of funds for the future or the location of the museum. Budget sets the parcel tax bylaw for the rate established by the RDUS for the museum parcel tax requisition. Significant dates: the bylaw needs to be adopted no later than May 15, 2021. Bylaw allows for the collection of funds required to pay for the town's portion of the annual debt payments for the museum property. And options before council: to give first year readings to museum parcel tax amendment bylaw 1300.06 2021. Option 2, to maintain the existing bylaw 1300.05 2020.
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. That rate for Osuyos at 15.24, is that up from last year or down?
It's down 2 cents.
2 cents? Okay, just,
So there's one more parcel being charged.
oh, okay, so that's actually good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And is this a 20-year loan, so we've got another 10 years?
We've got, just a little over 10.
Okay, thank you. Would someone like to make a motion here, please? Councillor King?
Yeah, option 1, to give first 3 readings to museum parcel tax amendment 13-06-2021.
Thank you. Is there a seconder? Councillor Rose. Any other questions, concerns? All in favor? Thank you very much. And Mr. Zacco, you can continue on with the Lacey Point Sewer System Parcel Tax Amendment bylaw.
Thank you, Mayor McCordova. So I'll be talking about three parcel tax bylaws coming forward, and the story is the same for all of them, so I'll explain it in the first one here. So we've got the Lacey Point Sewer System Parcel Tax Bylaw that was established to recover costs associated with the specified area sewer infrastructure improvements completed in 2000. Starting in 2001, a parcel tax is collected for the properties in the Lacey Point specified area that did not pay their portion of the capital costs of the sewer infrastructure that was constructed. These property owners elected to have their debt paid over 20 years as a parcel tax charge. In 2020, $1,699.76 was collected from 42 parcels for the specified area. In 2021, the debt will be paid in full, and the total amount remaining to be paid is $4,429.32. So we're reducing the rate from $164.28 for the last year requisition of $105.46. So implications for the community is improved sewer infrastructure, budget, neutral effect on budget as the debt payments and the parcel taxes collected are the same. Significant dates: parcel tax bylaw needs to be adopted to make the new rate active. Sustainability: limiting the demand on taxation or user fees for these services. And this, the options before council for this is to give first year readings to Lacey Point Sewer System Parcel Tax Amendment Bylaw 1158.05 2021. Option 2 was to maintain Parcel Tax Amendment Bylaw 1158.04 and refund the additional funds collected. And a recommendation for council is option number 1.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll move to option one.
Thank you. For a seconder, Councillor Rhodes. Can I ask now why we've got a Lacey Point, before we vote on this, for 42 parcels and another Lacey Point for 14 parcels, and they were both done at the same time? Am I correct? Because they're both,
You are correct. So there's 3 specified areas that were constructed back in 2000 when we did the boundary expansion down there. Sunnyvale Water System area was one of them.
where's that?
It's down near Lacey Point as well. It's just an offshoot of that
Okay.
entire area. So the parcel numbers don't match up.
Oh,
So some paid out their commuted values immediately on the water, but didn't do the sewer and so forth. So that's why.
so they're, all 3 of them are having to be done separately?
Correct.
And they're all finished this year?
All 3 will be paid out in full this year, yes.
Okay. All right, so we have it moved and seconded that we go with option 1 for the Lacey Point Amendment Bylaw 115805. All in favor? Are you in favor, Councillor Harvey?
Well, I live on Lacey Point, so I'm not really sure I should participate in this particular.
I wondered whether if he was in one of the 3.
Probably a good idea not.
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely, I wondered,
So
are you in Sunnyvale?
I'll recuse for these items.
That's okay?
Yeah, no,
Yep,
that's perfect.
all right, fair enough, so that is carried. Now we're going to go to the second one, the one, bylaw 1156.02, 2021. So same procedure, and you're asking us to either give first 3 readings to this or to maintain it.
Correct. So this one, the parcel tax rate is going from $97.02 to $62.28.
Okay, so,
And the recommendation is option number 1.
sure. Councillor Rhodes, Councillor Bennett, all in favor? Thank you very much. And we'll go to the third one, which is the Sunnyvale. It's very odd that all 3 of these started at the same time, but they, okay. I'm sure you have it figured out. Okay, this is the same place down in the Parcel Tax Amendment Bylaw 1157.03, and this one has 10 parcels.
That's correct. So this parcel tax rate is going from $52.36 down to $33.61 for this last year.
Okay, thank you very much. Is somebody going, thank you, Councillor Rhodes, Councillor King, all in favor? Thank you very much. So you won't have to come back with these next year because we'll be paid.
The property owners will have their debts paid off in full on these, so they won't have any more charges on it.
Good, thank you very much. So, anybody, oh, go ahead, Councillor King, or sorry, Councillor Rhodes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Could I ask how you recuse yourself on Zoom? Is there a protocol or?
We can turn a mic on that doesn't work. Your worship, it would seem that, the prohibition is against in any way to attempt to influence the outcome of the vote, either before, during, or after the meeting. And so I guess if Zoom, if it's showing an individual, I could be waving with my hands or giving thumbs up or doing whatever. So maybe I take a pass and I turn my camera off and I mute myself.
So he's muted to make it
To that point?
maybe easier if I even went like this. So I minimize him so we can't see him while the vote's happening?
I guess so.
I just wasn't intended.
Yeah, no, that's a
It was
good
just, I
point.
was
Yeah, no, it's a
curious,
good-
I agree.
Yeah, well then that way I can't influence you with my intimidating visage.
Okay,
the
got it.
waving $100.
Yeah.
All right, so,
It's for a different venue.
we can,
Yeah, I can
we
figure
can
out how
turn
to
them
get it
back
back.
on now, we're okay.
Sorry, Brian, we were playing with the screen. So would that work though, if I minimized him?
I guess so, that's the best I can come up with right now.
But if there were other
He still hears
people
all
on
the
the screen, that
conversation.
wouldn't work.
He still hears all the conversation.
But he could.
Yeah, but he has no way of trying to influence the results of the vote.
Yeah, I can agree with
But Mrs.
I can
Hilson,
turn my own camera off too.
Okay, yeah.
Yes,
that would probably be better, because if there were other people on there, on the screen, you would be shutting them all off,
Yeah.
and you only want one.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, okay.
All right, but have we voted?
Yes.
Okay, so you can come back.
Brian, I apologize, it was nothing personal.
No, I
just
agree, it was a
curious.
good question to ask for any.
No, it's a good
Yeah.
question, it's a good question.
we got that coming up too.
So, yeah, so it's a good.
Next item, right?
Oh, yes, of course. All right, so we do not have any new business, no notice of motion, but we do have a report from the committee of the whole this morning. So, Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just to recap, this morning we went through our community service grants and we made a recommendation to actually award, and what I will do is go through that recommendation, but I believe we're going to have 3 different resolutions.
I understand that yes, and so would you, are we going to do all of the ones that we can first and then separate out the other 2 items? Am I correct? How are we gonna do this?
I do it the other way.
You probably want to get those that feel they may have a conflict of interest respecting some of the applications to declare that now and describe in general terms. And then when we break the motion up, we'll take out the 2 items where some members have identified they may have a conflict of interest. We'll deal with all of them except for those 2 first, then we'll do the other 2 separately, and 1 member of council for each of them will have to recuse themselves.
Thank you. So we would like the 2 members to explain why they're going to recuse themselves now.
Yes.
Councillor King.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm perceived to be in conflict because my wife is a past president of the Rotary Club of Osoyoos, so I will be excusing myself when it goes to vote.
Thank you. And Councillor Harvey.
Yes, I'm a member and Commodore at the Sailing Club, so the 2 items that are on the list, I will recuse myself when they are considered.
Okay. Thank you. So we will now go ahead. Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, Councillor Rhodes.
Just a suggestion, could we not pull those 2 items out and they could recuse and then we could come back to the rest of them instead of walking it out?
We're going to do
So
it
the
other
first
way around.
resolution is going to deal with everything but the 2 applications that are recommended for award for the Sailing Club and the Rotary. So you'll do all of them except for those 3.
Okay.
And then you'll do Sailing Club and then Rotary or vice versa. We think it'll work, that is.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So for the first option, that the committee of the whole recommend, that council recommend, the Osoyoos Festival Society, $3,000 for advertising, video, prizes, and virtual performances. Osoyoos Fireworks, $7,000 for Canada Day fireworks event. Elks Golden Villa, $2,000, depending on the actual municipal tax portion. Osoyoos Secondary, $4,500 for bursaries. Osoyoos Elks Lodge number 436, $2,000 for accessible washroom upgrades. Osoyoos Curling Club, $2,000 for washroom and shed repair. Osoyoos Lake Water Quality, $1,000 for insurance premium. Osoyoos Senior Center, $1,000 for office chairs. Osoyoos Pickleball Association Incorporated, $2,500 for an AED. Oliver Osoyoos Search and Rescue, $5,000 to offset the cost of new suburban vehicle. Desert Sun Counseling, $5,000 for a community kitchen and garden. School After School Society, $900 for a whiteboard and supplies. Osoyoos Lawn Bowling Club, $2,500 for upgrades and outdoor furniture. Desert Valley Hospice Society, $2,000 for advertising, marketing, and special event. Accessible Okanagan, $3,000 for fishing event, kayaking and hiking. Portuguese Canadian Cultural Society, $6,000 for roof repair on building. And that would be it.
That would be it. Okay, could we have a motion to approve those applications? Thank you, Councillor Rhodes, Councillor King. Any questions or concerns? Okay, all in favor? Thank you very much. So we're going to deal with the sailing club ones first. So we will ask Councillor Harvey to recuse himself for this. Thank you.
So as another recommendation for the community service grants, Lake Osoyoos Sailing Club, $1,500 for storage rack and $1,800 for retaining wall.
Thank you. Is there anybody who'd like to make that motion? Thank you, Councillor Rhodes. Councillor King. All in favor? Thank you very much.
Sorry, Madam Mayor, can you, it was Councillor Rhodes, Councillor,
And Councillor King.
thank you.
Thank you. And so now we will ask Councillor King to recuse himself, and Councillor Harvey's back.
Thank you.
And the third recommendation for the community service grants is for the Osoyoos Rotary Club for $4,000 for the 75th anniversary wall mural.
Thank you. Is there someone who'd like to move this? Councillor Rhodes, Councillor Harvey, all in favor? Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
I see we still have concerns about the vaccine clinics.
Camera's done, they won't believe I left it in.
The minutes are recorded.
All right, so we will now go to our CAO report.
Thank you, Your Worship. Few items to report. We have hired an executive assistant communications coordinator. That employee will begin work here on April the 19th. Be happy to announce the name of the successful candidate later, just out of respect for whether or not the current employer knows yet. Been working on updating some job descriptions in the operational services department. We're creating a new utilities supervisor position, and so that requires the operational services manager's position to be rewritten as well. So those are both complete now, and we'll probably begin advertising the end of this week. The goal is to have a new utility supervisor in place by July 1 if possible. That position is funded largely out of the water and sewer utility accounts. I reviewed the updated language for a renewed collective agreement. Council recalls we did approve a renewal, and then there was the process of updating the agreement to incorporate the agreed to changes. That process is now complete. Last week, along with Director Davis and the CAO from Oliver and the Chief Operating Officer from the Osoyoos Indian Band, we reviewed the proposals and evaluated them received for the South Okanagan Aquatic Center feasibility study, and we'll be announcing an award of that work in the near future. A little bit of correspondence back and forth with the province concerning the town's application for a tourism-dependent communities grant, and that was for the Legion Beach improvements that were proposed. Hope to be successful in that, and hope to hear an announcement in the near future of that one. A lot of these HR personnel matters, Mrs. Ilson helps me a great deal. That's a majority of her job, in addition to council agendas and council secretariat and protocol and things, so much appreciated there. She also deals with FOI requests and with legal agreements and agreements requiring renewal. Been working on some agreements out at the airport. Another group has come forward and would like to fly model airplanes and be sanctioned for its use, and so because we've given the right to the Penticton Model Airplane Club to use the facility from sun up to sundown on all days except when the Wine Country Racing Association was used. We reached out to them, Ms. Stolzen has, to determine if they could define desired days of use so that this other local group could be assigned some days of use as well. And I understand it's always weather dependent. If it's windy, they're not likely to go. You lose your craft that way. Community services, the marina management RFP closes today.
Yep.
I hope we had a good response to that, and somebody has an opportunity to provide some commercial services and make a living down there, make a go of it, and enhance some of the tourism opportunities, boat rentals and such. I won't get into the details around immunization clinics in the Soyuz. As you know, there's been confusion, and it continues to be worked out. I understand it's a mammoth undertaking for anyone. All these locations, all these COVID protocols, contacting first our most elderly citizens. So it's been a challenge. We hope that there's a little more clarity around what's happening in Soyuz. People can call and book, and they've taken appointments for people that are currently, is it in excess of 76?
77, I think.
77 up at Sagebrush Lodge. So they should call the IHA numbers that are published. Sunbowl Arena, the shutdown will commence on March 28th.
Yep.
Starts, we stayed open a little later than most, I think, which is good because we had community demand for the service. I think this is the last week of spring break. Spring break camp was sold out, and there's waiting lists for both. Back to the corporate officer, one more thing has been finalizing the agreements, the employment agreements with our victim services contractors. Those are annual agreements, and been doing a little bit of work making requests of OIB to see if they would participate financially, asking the RUS if they might not provide a little bit more funding support. Council approved extra hours itself to fund to top up the hours available to improve the service and deal with some gaps. Financial services, the full audit is underway, and it's the electronic audit again, which presents some challenges just in terms of getting the materials to the auditors. Making the preparations for the 2021 tax year, and earlier committee of the whole. Council directed that the tax rates bylaw include a tax due date of July the 2nd with a 5% late penalty to be applied on July the 3rd. And a further 5% to be applied on, I believe it was September the 1st, on amounts unpaid after July the 3rd, or after September the 1st. Council earlier today approved the authenticated the parcel taxes. All of those 4 bylaws that you read, they're in parcel tax roll. Had to be prepared and authenticated. That was done earlier today. Fire department continues with the training. We're expecting a number of firefighters to graduate with the NFPA 1001 designation soon. We really managed to increase the numbers of people that are qualified to perform firefighting at that level. So they've had a really good success, and congratulations to all the firefighters and to Ryan and Tyler, our deputy chiefs, who are doing a good job over there. RFP's been issued for the rapid response vehicle that they seek to acquire as well. It's up there for people. Planning and development services, everybody knows that it's a bit of a development crazy world out there, that demand for residential properties in the Soyuz is probably at an all-time high. That comes along with a lot of development inquiries and interest of development services. They tell me that there's a meeting proposed to discuss the National Park Reserve, and I assume that's with council. I'm looking at you, do you know?
No.
Nope.
No.
Okay. Fairly coming up.
Looking at you.
Okay, well, thank you. They were at the RUS, I know.
I was sent an invitation to attend it, and I have a feeling I will look back at it, but I think it's on the 9th or something of April. It's in my calendar.
Okay.
Anyway, and I'm not sure who else was invited to it. They've already had one meeting with the Area A, Area A, C, B, D directors, but this one will be with other people.
Okay.
I'll look it up.
Thanks. Okay, stay tuned. The province has renewed and extended the provincial nominee program that sees foreign individuals come to BC communities, make an investment, starting a business. We are continuing to participate in Zoom meetings and interview interested parties. We think that the previous efforts might yield some new businesses in Osoyoos in the near future. Business license renewals are out and going about. The operational services department is getting ready for spring, and it feels very much like it with days like today out there. Seasonal startup for the agricultural irrigation system is underway, and people can apply for early for spray water for April the 1st, with, I believe, the actual irrigation water available on the 15th, I think it is. Information's on our website. And then we start to seasonally start up the effluent irrigation system as well, which lets the town dispose of treated effluent on the golf course and some sports fields and other areas of the community. Been out sweeping the roads, trying to clean up the winter grit and aggregate. It's really not that bad. I see a lot of other communities, northern parts of the Okanagan, having the air quality advisories for several days and sometimes weeks at a time due to the aggregate and the dust on the roads. And we don't seem to get that here, so one more thing to be thankful for. Installing some more benches on the canal trail, and there's quite a number of capital works underway in the operational services world. Bayview Wastewater Treatment Center, the Vedette Drive infrastructure upgrades. We're working with the selected contractor to be the owner's representative for the Osoyoos Child Care expansion, targeting a design-build type project there, and we're going to really iron out the owner's requirements so that you get what you expect rather than get something that somebody's value engineered for you. Making a strong effort to try to get that project to make sure it gets built and comes in under budget. Traffic marking will officially start in the next few weeks. We've had some requests, and certainly the lack of crosswalks on the provincial highway on Main Street is a concern to some. Those are still, whether they're marked or not, they are crosswalks, but pedestrians do need to be cautious, as always. And just because it's a marked crosswalk doesn't mean necessarily safe. And the water system extension, Water District 9, the rural domestic twinning project is underway, as you know all too well, driving through the construction.
I'm happy.
I think good progress is being made there, Your Worship, too. Thank you.
Good, thank you very much. Did you have a question?
I just want to know sorry, Madam Mayor.
Go ahead.
The childcare, when will you expect that to be finished?
We got an extension to the latest possible date because under the terms of the original grant they got, that work was supposed to be completed by, I think it was the end of May this year. And progress was delayed because, as council knows, they're making an application for additional grant funds that they only found out they were unsuccessful for in the fall of last year. And so we got an extension, and I believe the work has to be completed by November 30th next year.
So is the childcare, is that going to kind of, the other kids that could have gotten in there, they're not going to be able to get in there when school starts?
We don't know what the completion date will be. We've got another meeting scheduled with them for the 31st of this month, I believe, to discuss the process and timing. Got a lot of details to work out, like how are they going to keep the facility open, because part of the proposal was a renovation of the existing facility too. So there's a lot of unknowns still, but we know our deadline is the end of November next year. We better be done.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. You mentioned a local model airplane club interested in using the airport grounds. Is that a non-profit organization?
I believe that it is, and they're registered with the Model Airplane Association of Canada, just like just like PennMat
Oh,
was.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, and they've already provided us with
Yeah, they've already put-
insurance.
Okay,
And all of that,
that was
so.
my question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, I need somebody please to move that the CAO report be received. Councillor Bennett, Councillor Rhodes, all in favor? Thank you very much. And we will now go on to councillor reports. Councillor Harvey.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't have a report for this meeting.
Thank you. Councillor Rhodes.
Same, no report.
Okay, thank you. Councillor King.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I was on a Zoom meeting last week with Community Services and Mr. Davis I'm glad to report that all the new members, the full committee was all on the Zoom, so that was kind of exciting to recognize and accept the new people. And I'm sure Mr. Davis will come forward at the next council meeting with a full report. But we did review a few things that are happening in town with the Pioneer Walkway, Desert Park, and things like that. I also attended on behalf of the mayor, because our mayor is a very busy lady, the mayor's vaccine roundtable with other mayors around the province. It was quite interesting. There was 43 mayors on the Zoom meeting. And as the meeting was on, that's when Mr. Horgan actually announced all the updates on the vaccines. So that report came out the next day, and I'm sure Madam Mayor will give us an updated report. But it really relates that they are ahead of schedule. And right now, I believe they're taking, if you're 77-year-old today, you can phone in, or 78 today, 77 tomorrow, 76 on Thursday, and 75 on Friday. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for attending. So, Councillor Bennett attended one meeting when I was at Regional District, and then Councillor King attended another. Councillor Bennett, do you have
I have a couple
Yes,
of
you've been
reports
busy.
on there. One, School District 53, they're on spring break from March 31st to April 4th. It was kind of neat. They talked about one of the graduates from School District 53 who's going on to become a master chef, Sylvan Deep. And she's going to be participating in Top Chef Canada in April.
wow.
So
Cool.
you have to watch that. And how she got there was like in grade 10 or something. One of the teachers had a program if you want to compete at a provincial level of some type. And she decided she wanted to enter this cooking thing through the school, and went there and she won a bronze medal. And now she's gone on to become a master chef, and so you hear lots about her. We had the MIDC climate change, and I won't get into that because you got to be a 10-year lawyer and a 40-year-old insurance agent to understand that one. We did a ground review with Jim and Gerald, and risk management with DO, we did a risk management with an outside party to take a look at the whole destination of Soyuz of what could go wrong if there was a disaster, and some of those disasters could be funding or rebuilding, or maybe the province decides to not have tourism and fund it, and basically having some money put away in contingency funds, and how you do that as a nonprofit and show that so people understand that it's not money there that's just not being spent, is there in case we have a year like we did this year. Also, we were very lucky because hotels were full still quite well. But other communities like ours, like Whistler, they're really in trouble because they didn't have those contingency funds. So it was a really worthwhile program. Really was good. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So a couple of things. Dealing with water, of course, which I've always been very involved in. One is that yesterday, as I said earlier, was World Water Day. It's always on March the 22nd of every year. And I commended two of our town staff who were out cleaning out the fountain out front today, and I told them this was a good day for them to be getting it ready and turning on the water. They were in their shirt sleeves, so that's how warm it is out there. The Okanagan Basin Water Board for Water Week is hosting a film on Thursday night. It's on Zoom, of course, and it's called Lost Rivers. And I've already joined up to participate in that, but it's certainly available to get the information about that on the Okanagan Basin Water Board website. Tomorrow, I've been invited to, talking about water still, to be on a Global Affairs Canada and the Columbia River Treaty webinar, and it's handy that they're having it in Water Week as well. The people over on the Columbia River Treaty community group have asked for my input because I happen to be the local representative on the Lake Osoyoos Board of Control. So they're interested in that, and I think that will be quite interesting because the Columbia River Treaty has been It's been an ongoing issue, looking at all of the pros and cons and concerns for many years. As a matter of fact, the last water science forum that we held in Osoyoos, there were 2 days of that, and the first day was a Columbia River Treaty looking at past, present, and future. So that was 2015. And I happened to see in preparation for this the brochure that was out, and many of the same issues, of course, you know, climate change and storage and lake levels and all of the issues that we continue to deal with water. So I'm looking forward to that meeting tomorrow. The vaccine clinics continue to be a bit of a concern. As you know, or many seniors probably know, if they've already had their appointments, they're being held right now at the health unit, which was the old Sagebrush Lodge building. And they seem to be pretty well full up there from what we understand. Next week, starting on it's either March the 31st or April the 1st, they're going to be switching the vaccine clinics to the Sonora Center. So anybody who is phoning in right now to get an appointment may get it at the health unit, but more than likely they will get it at the Sonora Center starting at the end of next week. So just so that you know, it can be a little bit confusing because they're moving them back and forth. We will ensure that everybody who wants to have a vaccine will be able to get one. So please don't worry. I know some people have phoned and they've been told that they have to make an appointment in Oliver and not Osoyoos. And I'm thinking that people in Osoyoos need to be able to get an appointment here. So we will continue to work on that. I thought it was most interesting yesterday. I got a text or Facebook from some of the female mayors. We have there's a group of us in the province. I think there's 42, 41 mayors in the province of BC that are female. And they noticed that, one of them noticed that on Narcity, NARCITY.com, they told about Canada's top 20 friendliest places. 5 of them were in British Columbia, 5 out of the 20. Radium Hot Springs was number 1, and Whistler was number 11, Osoyoos was number 12, Nanaimo was number 14, and Fernie was number 20. So isn't that cool? So how nice is that? And I just want to say thank you to all the businesses, all the residents, all our workers in town, our town staff, for absolutely making this the friendliest place, one of the top friendliest places in Canada. And Councillor King said earlier today that one of the reasons he moved here was because it was such a friendly community, and that was really important to him. So thank you, everybody, and well done. That's a terrific. We will continue to offer Canada's warmest welcome in terms of our hearts and in terms of our weather. And one more thing is that Easter is at the end of next week. Of course, the Osoyoos Festival Society cannot have the usual Easter egg hunt and an egg hunt and you know, a petting zoo and everything else that normally happens outside here. But I have heard from the executive of the society that you may see the Easter Bunny in town on Easter Sunday. So watch for him. He's not doing a parade, but he will be driving around town. And there's a few things going on, and well done to the Osoyoos Festival Society for trying to find something kind of fun to do. And we certainly hope that the next event, which is July the 1st, things may be in place, and if they're not, then they'll have to plan for the following year. Not quite sure. So I think those were all of the things that I had to report on